Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. I follow a lot of chart analysts, just a ton of them, because it's always fun to see if certain, I should call it groupthink. That's not the right term, because that implies that people are piggybacking off of each other's ideas. But I'm looking for commonalities in analysis from all sorts of chart analysts. And I will tell you, I've been finding it lately, like to a degree that I'd not noticed, at least in a bullish sense for XRP. I've never seen it before, frankly. And I've been in the world of crypto for a little over 3 years now. And so the message that I keep seeing, in a general sense, is that the path forward for XRP, to reach all-time highs and then ultimately break through, it's still intact. And so chart analysts disagree at least a bit on what that timeline might look like, but they still say, yep, that's the direction that we're heading. And it only seems unattainable until you're there, right? Or until you're massively running up, as certainly was the case in late 2017 when XRP hit almost $4 in a matter of like 3 weeks. So things can happen super quickly in the world of crypto here. In the meantime, Bitcoin seems to be consolidating and moving sideways, which may only last potentially for even just a few days. So we'll see here. But it seems inevitable, does it not, that Bitcoin is eventually going to crash through $20,000 and then just move on up, even if there's a pullback in the short term. So there's lots to talk about. That, in addition, the backdrop of this all is additional institutional adoption of cryptocurrency, which is another thing that, as this market cycle really gets ramped up, is going to be of substantial importance. It's a supply and demand thing. It only takes so many whales jumping in and sticking around for the long haul, even if it's just Bitcoin, to get everything going. Because again, even if, I'd love for institutional money to flow directly into XRP, but and some of it has, but even if none of it did, even if it all went into to Bitcoin, that still is going to spark things off for altcoins. XRP, along with every other coin on the planet, just follows Bitcoin in a broad sense. So even if this type of money were only going into Bitcoin, it should look good for us. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button, I'd appreciate the support, and continue, and also consider subscribing rather to the Moon Lambeau channel, because why the hell not? It's free content or something like that. The price is right. Here's a tweet. I want to share this. Came across this earlier today from Peter Schiff, who I'm a fan of, but my gosh, he's just so wrong about crypto. It's just astonishing to me the degree to which this man is wrong about crypto. He still insists that it's a bubble, Bitcoin, crypto, it's all going to zero. All of it. Because there's no utility to be had here, right? There's nothing, so it doesn't, there's no true value, and as a result, you're not going to be able to have a sustainable price, even after 12 years of this damn asset class, just about. So anyway, here's what Peter Schiff wrote. CNBC's excessive coverage of Bitcoin sets a new low in financial journalism ethics. Their constant promotion has legitimized the asset in the eyes of their audience, many of whom will buy and then be left holding the bag when the whales dump what CNBC helped pump. Oh, what a bunch of nonsense. So I responded to him and I wrote the following. And again, I like Peter Schiff. I just think he's wrong on this. But I wrote, will you still be a crypto denier 10 years from now? 15, 20 years? In 20 years, will you still be insisting crypto is a scam bubble that will go to zero? Or will enough time pass, enough global adoption occur to make you realize you've been mistaken all along? And I don't think that he's ever going to admit that he's wrong. It's always going to be a bubble that's about to pop and go to zero. I don't care how much time passes. I don't think he's going to even try and save face. And that's just one of those things where, like, if you're going to behave like that, people can see, and it starts to sound disingenuous. But eventually, most people will jump on board. He is so stuck in his ways here. I don't know that he ever will. Maybe, but I'm skeptical of that here. Can you just imagine seeing all this real world adoption and knowing that business models can exist that otherwise are not possible? They cannot exist without this technology, meaning a decentralized cryptocurrency with an open market price, and just for that to be an absolute fact, and then still have this freaking mindset. It's ridiculous, right? And as I record this, mind you, XRP is at 61.6 cents. So it's up in the last 30 days, something like 160%. I know what I hate. and I don't hate that. Bitcoin is at $18,814 market cap for the asset class, $565 billion, and Bitcoin dominant 61.74%. There's a tweet. So I was following some of what Credible Crypto has been putting out lately, and he's got, I think, 80,800 followers now on Twitter. So he's earned quite the following, rather. And somebody tagged him and was talking about the following in terms of just like the mania of crypto, and wrote, "Many people feel once Bitcoin passes all-time high, it'll be a repeat of 2017 for altcoins. However, conditions are different. 2017 run involved speculative mania, but we currently have speculative frenzy, not full-blown mania yet, to create a bigger bubble." And by the way, I do feel that way. Even Ashish Burla, and I shared this at some point within the last several days or so, he was talking about how it feels like just like 2017 and like crypto Twitter, but outside of that, it does not. It just feels like 2019. It really does. And so, they're not getting hyped that much, despite what Peter Schiff was talking about with CNBC. I mean, they actually do. They always have been, even over the last few years, even during the bear market, they have been talking about Bitcoin. So, but really, outside of that, you don't really see it in mainstream media all that much. And so I think many of the retail investors that will ultimately jump into the space, they're just on the sidelines right now, or haven't even discovered crypto yet, if you can believe that, in 2020. But it's a little baby asset class. And so Credible Crypto jumped in and wrote the following: "Speculative frenzy evolves into mania soon after Bitcoin breaks its all-time high." And it's still coming. And so that level that Credible Crypto has been saying to watch for is roughly the 60-cent range. And by the way, he's not the only one. So check out this headline from the Daily Hodl. "Analyst tracks Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP trajectories after Bitcoin's burst to all-time high." Top crypto strategist and trader Michael Vanderpop is mapping out the possible scenarios for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP as the leading cryptocurrency bursts to a new all-time high on several crypto exchanges, including Binance, Bitstamp, and Kraken. Or at least the Kraken. In a new strategy session, Vanderpop says he believes that Bitcoin is not yet ready to go above key resistance at $20,000. This gets to where you're talking about a little chop sideways potentially, but here's his quote. "Most likely, when you're getting into the range resistance point, we're going to reverse and test the range low again. I'm not expecting that we're going to see a continuation from this point here, $19,000, unless what I just said, in which I'm expecting that we at least are going to test range lows, which is also the CME, that's Chicago Mercantile Exchange, at $17,000, and a gap like this is usually getting filled. So then we could be getting this scenario in which we're going to chop around in this range between $16,000 and $19,000. The less likely scenario is that we reject, run back up to $18,300, and then fall down to $14,000, and then we start to accelerate." So basically, and I've been hearing this from a lot of analysts of late, it's like we're probably not far at all from seeing Bitcoin over $20,000. So maybe you see a little sideways trade action for a while, but ultimately it's going to go through it, and things will start getting nutty again. And XRP and every other altcoin, ultimately, I believe, will follow. And to be clear, I don't have a financial background. I'm not offering financial advice. I don't buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. And as far as XRP, Vanderpop expects the third largest crypto asset to consolidate and trade around support of 58 cents. So this is yet another analyst that is talking about this important level. Like I just cited with Credible Crypto, I know that he was talking about around the 60-cent range. So Michael Vanderpop here saying 58 cents. We're splitting hairs. It's effectively the same thing. But here's what he had to say about this. "Nice bounce up, but now is rejecting. This is the crucial breaker we held, 58 cents. The crucial breaker that could be failing is 61.7 cents. And by the way, again, as I'm recording this, we're sitting at 61.4 cents now. So that's the latest update as I'm recording. But you know more. You're a future person compared to where I'm at, so you know more than me, right? But he says, so once we break below and we reject, that's the point. All right, and then there's this piece written by Nick Chong with News BTC, right? XRP continues ascent with 10% surge as Bitcoin consolidates. Analysts are bullish on XRP as the coin manages to consolidate despite an extremely strong rally last week. XRP has begun to hold a key resistance level on a short-term basis, which an analyst says may precede a further rally to the upside. And indeed, this is what I keep seeing from everyone, effectively, not literally, but just figuratively everyone, right? And so that's why Credible Crypto is saying, if you have the opportunity ever again to purchase XRP anywhere from 38 to 55 cents, that's why his suggestion was, you might want to consider it if you're in the market for XRP, right? That's effectively what he was saying. He says it could happen, but doesn't think that it will. And here's another analyst indeed talking about how, yeah, we seem to have found some new support here. So anyway, the chart below shows this trend playing out. As can be seen, XRP is in the midst of consolidating above a crucial technical level in the near term. Per the chart, there may not be much resistance until prices far above the current range. Now, that is fascinating, right? So this is why this is all so amazing right here. And we knew crypto could do this. I mean, it's been behaving in this volatile fashion for the last few years, just more so to the downside and then trading sideways for a bit. But at some point, we're going to see additional breakouts from XRP, I certainly suspect. And that's, we'll see. Look, I don't make price predictions, and I don't know where this is all going, but I could not be more optimistic. I've never actually felt as optimistic as I do right now for crypto, and certainly specifically XRP. I believe it will be worth substantially more than it is today. And I believe that for years, which is why I dollar cost averaged in for 3 years and made some rather large purchases a couple months or so ago. Now take a look at this. As far as the big money coming in, take a look at this headline from the Daily Hodl. Crypto giant Grayscale says institutional inflows suggest Bitcoin bull run just getting started. So think about this. Last time we were seeing these prices, we were nearing the end of the Bitcoin bubble. Well, there is no bubble this time. We're at these price levels, and it's grown organically, and it takes years to do this. That's why anytime you see major run-ups, you do see retracements. You can enter bear markets for years, which is what we went through, but it's climbed back up. I know a lot of it has been over the last 30 days, but still, you know, this is what the evolution of Bitcoin has looked like for over a decade now in terms of price appreciation, right? So this is one of the things that's just so cool about this. So let me run through this. Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency asset manager, is optimistic that Bitcoin will continue to soar on the back of growing institutional demand. In an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box, Grayscale Managing Director Michael Sonnenschein, or maybe Sonnenschein, I don't know, it's probably one of those, says that while it is difficult to predict Bitcoin's movement, interest from institutional investors suggests that the King coin is still in the early stages of its bull run. Yeah, no kidding, you think? I certainly agree with that. And here's a quote. If our inflows at Grayscale are any indication of the types of investors that are interested in this asset class or the sizes of allocations being made, we're just getting started. Exactly, and that's why I certainly suspect that by the time this market cycle is complete, we'll see that there's way more institutional participation than there was in 2017, because in 2017 that was primarily, almost entirely retail-driven, which is amazing to me. I mean, really, this whole phenomenon, it's been retail-driven for a decade, frankly. I mean, crypto exchange Gemini founders, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss, who were also interviewed on Squawk Box, also think that the flagship cryptocurrency will continue to rise. And here's a quote. Our thesis is that Bitcoin is gold 2.0, that it will disrupt gold. And if it does that, it has to have a market cap of $9 trillion. So we think Bitcoin could price one day can be $500,000 at a Bitcoin. At $18,000 Bitcoin, it's a hold, or at least if you don't have any, it's a buy opportunity, because we think there's a 25x from here. And then Tyler Winklevoss points to the surge of institutional demand in Bitcoin as a major catalyst for the dominant cryptocurrency's ascent. And here's another quote. When you see the likes of Paul Tudor Jones, Stan Druckenmiller buying Bitcoin and extolling its virtues, when you see companies like Square, MicroStrategy that are publicly traded, putting their treasury into Bitcoin to protect their valuation because cash is trash and they realize it, that stuff does a lot to mainstream, and at some point, it's just hard to look at those data points and deny that Bitcoin is an incredible technology, but it's also an incredible store of value. And so I thought that would be a good place to wrap up the video, because it goes back to what I was saying towards the front. when I was critiquing Peter Schiff about not understanding why people value Bitcoin. At this point, it's been around long enough. He needs to question further what he is analyzing incorrectly, because it's been too long. He needs to be looking inward and be like, okay, at this point, I have to be, yes, just be intellectually honest, Peter. Like, at this point, what am I not getting, right? That's what you got to ask yourself. It's just going to keep getting harder, and this is exactly what the Winklevi, that's the plural form of them, the Winklevi twins are talking about here in a nutshell. It's just because how many obituaries for Bitcoin have been written? How many people in the mainstream said that after 2017, after Bitcoin crashed, that it was done, that was the end, the bubble has popped, it is over, yet here we are 3 years later, and it's back at its all-time high, damn it. Like, at some point, and this is happening, though, that's why you see these developments, like what they cited here, with Square, with MicroStrategy. How about PayPal jumping on board? It's astonishing, and so things are just ramping up here, and I'm so thankful that I discovered crypto and XRP not any later than I did. Because, again, I've had 3 years to accumulate, and I never would have expected to have had that opportunity. So I'm genuinely thankful, and I'm just going to sit here and hold. But that is it for this video. Thank you for stopping by, my friends. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything, because of anything that I say or write, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.